Hello and welcome to my first ever book video. So I'm going to be reviewing / sharing with you guys the books I read in March. So this month I've actually read 7 books, which to me is mental. I normally read like 1 to 3 books a month and I've read 7 this month. So these books are brilliant. I've loved nearly every single book that I've read this month. And as well, I'm going to be sharing the books that I'm going to be reading in April with you guys. This video may be a little bit of a long video. I'm going to be reviewing all the books, what I rated them, what I thought of them. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be like. If you do like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below and click the notification bell to be notified every time I do upload. This YouTube channel is going to be book related, so I'm going to be sharing every month the books I've read and the books I'm going to read, as well as the books that I've bought that month, if I've bought any books, and more book-ish videos for you guys because I love books. I have actually a book TikTok, I will put it here. I absolutely love doing it and I wanted to share it with you guys on YouTube as well as my TikTok, because if it wasn't for booktok, I don't think I would have fallen back in love with reading. I don't think I would have found the escape I have found within these books, which makes me really happy because I'm quite a stressful person, and actually finding these books has made me relax a lot more. So yeah, and also on this channel, we do a lot of food videos. There's going to be a few more food videos coming up, a few more vlogs, and I just love food. It's one of my passions, is food. As a kid, my mum always said that I should be a food critic. So this YouTube is like my mini food critic channel, and I love it. And as well, uni life. I'm a second year uni student. I fingers crossed next year we'll be doing placement as well. So it'll be fun. New videos coming with that as well. I'm a graphic design student at the University of Huddersfield, which is where I'm originally from. And yeah, but intro's all done. Grab yourself a cup of tea, because this may be a long video and I don't think you can talk about books without a cuppa. So go grab yourself one and let's have a great time reviewing some books. I'm going to shove my hair up though because this is going to get in the way. Let's get started with reviewing the books I've read in the month of March. I have no idea how well you can see this, but this is the first book I read. It's called Off Limits by Ja Lowe. This is actually one that I got on Kindle Prime for free. I read it on my Kindle. I read it in a day. So when we were travelling back from Switzerland, I just wanted to read. We got up about 6 AM and that's the time we were on the coach. So literally from about 6 AM till the time we got home, I read this book and I finished it. And this book is about a woman who is on her wedding day. It's her wedding day night, and her friend who is pregnant sneaks off, and she goes to see her husband and surprise him and have a bit of fun on their wedding night. Now she goes to his place because they're in the hotel. She goes to that room and, well, she sees something that she was not expecting, let's just say that. And well, this book takes place in New York, I'm pretty sure. I did read it at the beginning of this month and my brain is very forgetful, but I'm pretty sure it's based in New York. And due to this, whatever has happened, she meets this other guy who owns his own company with his twin, and it's all about their lives. And it is a smutty romance. It is quite smutty, and I would say over the age of 18s read this book. It is so good. It had me hooked. I literally couldn't put it down. It's about a 200 and odd page book. It's a very short book, which is what I personally like. There is more in the series which carries on the romances between all the other characters that you meet. It's a very fast paced, very intense. There is some intense bits. Please do check the trigger warnings on some of the stuff though, because there is a few trigger warnings that need to be shown. I don't want to ruin the book, so I don't really tell you, but there is some trigger warnings that you may need to read up about, but it is amazing. I could not put it down. I did rate this about 4 stars out of 5, and yeah, It is on my Goodreads. I will put my Goodreads down below for you guys and my name up here for if anyone wants to follow me in Goodreads. This book though, it's like my comfort reads. I read romance books and this was one of them and I loved it so much. So yeah, I try not to ruin the books by telling you everything, but it's really hard to review without telling you. I hope that makes sense and makes people interested. The best way I could describe this book in a way that makes you want to read it is by what I did on TikTok. So I'm going to just tell you. So she goes on her honeymoon but makes it into a girl's holiday and meets her future husband. What else do you need in a book, to be honest? So yeah, that was the first book I read in March. Now my second book that I actually finished in March is Unclear by Colin Heuver. I love Colin Heuver books. I've got 4 of them currently and only read 2 because everyone was like, once you read one Colin Heuver book, you've read them all. Like, you just want to read them all. And it's so true. Every time I see a Colin Heuver book, I buy it these days, which isn't a good thing for my bank account. But yeah, I started Ugly Love on actually the trip out to Switzerland, and I didn't really read a lot of it. It was a bit slow. It was a bit like, because what happens is you follow the character of Tate and Miles. Now, when it starts off, it's brilliant because Tate is a nurse and she's moving in with her brother, who is a pilot. Miles is also a pilot, so it goes from the present day life of Tate and her relationship and work between Miles, her brother, and her life. And then it goes, the next chapter is always like Miles's life, which isn't Miles in the present, it's Miles in the past when he was about 18 years old. And it tells Miles' story alongside Tate's story in the present and Miles' story in the past. And everything makes sense. So basically, Tate and Miles in Tate's life have like friends with benefits, but they both fall for each other. Like, friends benefits when you got feelings ain't a good thing. But he's always working, he's a pilot, he's constantly working, he's gone for days on end. But he also has an issue with falling in love. He just doesn't want to fall in love. So, and we find out why. And the reason we followed Miles in the past is to find out why he doesn't want to fall in love and why he's scared to, and why, in the end, why everything happens. And I actually, once this book got interesting, so I was reading this book for for a week. Didn't touch it when I was on a skiing holiday, just didn't want to. Got home, actually was like, right, I'm going to read this. I finished it in 2 days. Colin Heuver books have me hooked. This book is intense and it's quick pace. Kind of slow at the beginning. If a book is slow in the beginning, I ain't about it. I like to be hooked like that. But this book had me hooked from about a couple of chapters in after that, when I actually started reading it. And I did not want to put it down. I stayed up late reading this. I also cried for about 20 minutes for this book. 20 minutes. This book is an emotional roller coaster. Be ready with tissues for this book, because you will cry. I do not cry at books unless somebody has died. But this book had me crying. And that is saying something. So yeah, I hope that made you want to read it. I think I rated this at 4 stars. Yeah, I rated this 4 stars out of 5. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I rated this 4 stars out of 5. I didn't give it 5 stars just because it did take a while for me to get into it. But yeah, it's 4 stars out of 5. The next book I read was The X Hex by Erin Sterling. I actually got sent this to me by one of my lovely booktok friends, which was really nice of them. I got this for my birthday from them, which I was really happy about. This is about 300 pages long, just in case anyone's wondering. This one's got quite a big writing in it. If anyone's wondering, I have dyslexia. I do struggle quite badly with reading certain books, i.e. why sometimes it takes me a bit to read the smaller print books. But this book, I rated it 5 stars out of 5 stars. It was amazing. Literally, it says it on the cover. Never mix vodka and witchcraft. It had me hooked. I just added this to my list of books I wanted to read on Amazon without even thinking about it, because everyone was just saying it's a brilliant book. I did not think about it. I just added it. I was like, brilliant. I will find that and read it. And it follows the life of Viv. I can't actually say her full name, but it's Viv Jones and Reese Penhallow. Rhys Penhallow is from Wales. There is Welsh in this book. I am half Welsh and my mum and my sister speak Welsh. I personally do not, but it has Welsh in it. It has cariad in it, which literally made me melt. It made me melt and scream happily, because this is a romance book. Cariad means my love, if anyone's wondering. And Viv and Rhys used to date back when they were in college. Then 9 years have passed. He's having to come to help with the ley lines of where she lives, because there's witches and muggles, as they called it. There's a lot of Harry Potter references as well, which made my heart just happy. And they come to recharge the ley lines, and well, it went wrong, because he's cursed. They cursed him when he broke up with her because of drinking vodka and witchcraft, and they found out why, because curses aren't actually a real thing. But for Viv, we find out why, because of it's all to do with the past, and they have to solve it, and things go wrong. Like, their magic stops working, it doesn't go very well, and they only have a certain amount of days to fix it, and he has to go back to Wales, and it's about their relationship and how they grow and all of that jazz. By the way, this I would read if you're 16 and above. Same with this, I'd be about 17 and above, probably, for both of them. I need to remind you, I need to remember to say this. But yeah, this is witchcraft, but based in the real world. I love fantasy books, but this is a good mix between romance, fantasy, because there is obviously witchcraft in it, but also being in the real world, and that's just what I loved about it. I love books like that because I know what's kind of the real world looks like, but it makes it more magical because there's like magic in it. And it just made my heart really happy. I loved this book. I could not put it down. I literally finished this in 2 days, and it made me scream, it made me laugh. It didn't make me cry, but oh my god, I am going to reread this. The only issue with it is the pages were stuck together at the bottom, and I ripped a few pages due to that. But yeah, it's amazing. I mean, put a curse on your ex whilst drinking vodka and having bubble baths, and then he comes back and curses their village that they live in. Like, this is the book out of all these books I would recommend you to read. You need to pick this up. This is £3 in the works, and I think about £3 on Amazon. Go pick this book up. Just do it. By the way, I will link all of the books I'm talking about down below for you guys, so you can pick them up. They will be on Amazon, but if you just type them in on Waterstones or any of the sites that you use, you will also be able to find them on there. Maybe not the first one, just because that is, I think it's an independent indie author, sorry, so maybe not that one, but go and find these books. The next book I read and finished, The Love Hypothesis. I also got this one gifted to me by a wonderful book fairy, and also somebody I follow on TikTok. So this month is this book is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, and I added this because, again, everybody on TikTok was raving about it. There's even a sticker for it, which kind of ruins the aesthetic of the book, but hey ho. Now this is about, if you can't tell, a teacher romance, and it's fake dating. This is also, you need to be 18 plus to read this book. But it is an post-grad, if I remember correctly, yeah, she's doing a PhD. She's in the 3rd year, and she needs to pretend to her friend that she's dating someone so that she will get with her ex, who is actually the person that her friend wants to be with. So she kisses this random guy. Turns out the random guy is this guy, Adam. And Olive has to pretend. And it's all about their life. It's also got STEM women in it, and it's about science, so it gives a lot of insight into the life of a woman when you're in a business where it's just mainly men, and how the life of a woman is so much harder than men when you're competing against men. And it's so interesting on that fact, but the romance in it is so sweet. I loved it. I gave this one 4 stars just because, like, I loved it and I loved the message behind some of it. Like, some of the romance was a bit, obviously it's fake dating, but it was a bit like forced upon. Like, she did, but it kind of made sense, if you know what I mean. She also learns a lot about herself as a woman, which is really interesting. There's a lot of things that she does that she learns about herself, which is really, really nice. And then, of course, he's the secret. He's the secret to this book. He is. How the book describes him, it's grumpy sunshine trope kind of thing. Fake dating, grumpy sunshine. Absolutely love this book. I love the fact of he doesn't change, but like she gets the real him out like them two being together. He learns a lot about himself and he gets a lot out of it, and he actually like realizes why he is like he is. And there's a lot of stuff in it about science. If you love science, you will love this book. I do not love science, but I still love this book. I love learning about it and the things that you kind of get up to. It was just an amazing book. It is definitely a TikTok sensation, and I now know why. I now know why it's a TikTok sensation. So that was the 4th book I read. I also read this in 3 days. I literally could not put this down. As well, in this period, I have had COVID this month, so that's probably why I've read so many books, because I had nothing else to do apart from uni work, but that was not happening. Then the next book I read, I started this after the X Hex, but then I just started Love Hypothesis. I'm a mood reader. If I wasn't feeling it, I'd just shove it down, grab another book. But I actually grabbed Crave by Tracy Wood. Now this is the first one in the series. I've got 3 of them currently. There's one issue with the book. It's not very well made, the paperbacks, and it has been damaged. If you don't mind reading hardback, it is a bit more expensive, but I'd recommend this book just because of this. I do not like this, but you just have to deal with it. This is a YA book, so this literally, I would say from about 14 up can read this book. This is a young adult book, and this is kind of Twilight. It's described as Twilight New Generation, but I wouldn't really describe it as Twilight New Generation. But hey, well, kind of, well, it is and it isn't. Like, it's like it is and it isn't. I'll explain though. So Grace is a normal girl. Things have happened in her life, and she has to go live with her uncle and cousin. And her uncle runs Katamir Academy. Katamir Academy isn't a normal academy. No. This academy has witches, werewolves, vampires, and dragons. Yes, I said it. Dragons. Now, I would describe this more of a Zodiac Academy for young adults than Twilight. Apart from Graces and Magic, like the Viva twins do. But I would more describe it as that, if you actually know what Zodiac Academy is. But, so Grace goes to school, meets this guy, and she's like, damn. Turns out, he's like, damn too. And it's about her life, and it's trying to find out who's trying to kill her and who's not. Like, on her first night, she almost gets killed in this place. This book was a slow start. All my days it was a slow start. But the moment that the guy got involved and was protecting her, it was like Grumpy Sunshine again. And the dynamic in this book between the girls in it was amazing. The way that she doesn't know who's trying to kill her. She, like, literally at the end, you're like, is everything we've just read a lie? Like, and it's a very confusing book. I give this 4 stars just because it was quite confusing. But, however, this is a 500-page book. I read 300 pages in a day. And if that doesn't describe, like, this had me hooked. I did not do anything that day. I stayed up till, I think, 2 a.m. reading this book. It had me hooked. So hooked. Like, I just wanted to finish this book and know what happens. and the endings make me want to read the second one, but I'm trying not to because it's a not finished series, and as well, like, the books are expensive, so the longer I can make this book last series, that the 3 I've got so far, the less soon I have to spend more money on books. I've already spent a lot of money on books this month, which you will be getting a video on that soon. But yeah, it is basically like she doesn't know who she can trust. Everyone's like being nice to her, but then like she's almost getting killed way too much. Like, I know she's mortal whilst everyone else isn't, but still. It's like Harry Potter and Twilight had a child with Zodiac Academy mixed in, but make it YA. Put it in a potion, mix it all up, boom, you've got a book. This book is a massive series. Oh, sugar. This book is a massive series though. I think there is like 6 books already out, and I think there's going to be 8 of them. And they're all thick buggers. Like, but very, very short chapters. Very, very short chapters, which is another thing I did not like about it. I do not like extremely short chapters, but I don't like extremely long chapters. I like a good in between. It's just reader's preference, ain't it? Literally on the back, this is describes why you should read this book. When she is viciously attacked within days of her arrival, it is quickly become clear that someone will go to great lengths to see her dead. Now, who wants her dead? That's what you gotta find out by reading it. It's such a good book. It's such a good book. The next book I read after that, because I was ill and I wanted a comfort read, was, well, one of my favourite books. I have a comfort book series, and I haven't read them all because I've listened to them all in audio, but my goal is to read them all. And that is Harry Potter. This is the 5th one. This is the fattest one. This is over 700 pages. And this is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I have the original covers because I like them a lot. They make me happy. I prefer these to the new ones. But anyway, so yeah, it's Harry Potter. What else can I say about it? I gave this book 4 stars? Or did I give it 3 stars? Might have given it 3 stars. Did I give it 3 stars? No, wait. I gave this one 3 stars and I gave this one 3 stars. I give this one 3 stars because it was just a slow start. And it took me ages to get into it. And once I got into it, I was like, yes. But it took me ages. Which I was not happy about. But yes. I give this one 3 stars. It's Harry Potter. What else can I say? It made me shout at Umbridge. I was literally screaming at Umbridge. I nearly threw the book, but I didn't because I don't want to break this book because this is my babies. My Harry Potter books are my babies. Just Harry Potter, ain't it? It's a comfort read. What else can I say about it? If you've never read Harry Potter before, you need to. If you've not ever heard of Harry Potter, I don't know what to say to you to read this. I love these books because these are what I grew up on. These are my childhood. Oh, these are like my comfort. If I'm ever sad, anxious, just needing a comfort blanket, this is what I read because it just makes me happy. And it makes me like, this is my world to escape into. Like, I know I've read all these other books to escape, but this is my favourite one to escape into because I've been escaping into this since I was 6 years old. So, yeah. I love these books so much. I don't know what to say about Harry Potter. Like, everyone's heard of it, so it's really difficult to say about it without ruining the entire series because that's one, like, that's the 5th book in the series. But hey, now the last book that I read this month, I literally finished yesterday. So, The Hating Game by Sally Thorpe. Now, everyone on TikTok was raving about this book, and then the film came out, which is why I've got the cover with a film sticker on it. But I watched the film twice in a row. Literally one day, then the next day. And I was like, I love this film. I'm going to buy the book. It's going to be an easy read for when I'm stressed. Let's just buy the book. And my God, this book. I read this in 3 days. It had me hooked. This trope is literally just hating each other. Grumpy sunshine, hating each other, but loving each other. They hate each other and they make a game out of everything. And Lucy is like a ray of warm sunshine, and Josh is a grumpy little crap. And it's based in a book publishing company, which had my heart at the start. Book publishing company, because that's what I want to go into. And they both love books, and you learn about, they play many games, like the HR game and the mirror game, the staring game, the starting over game. Now this I would read if you are 17 up, 17 plus. This book it's so cute. It is so cute. It is the most adorable book I've read. It made my heart warm. It was such a good, it was just like a comfort, like a comfort blanket. Not as much as the X Hex. The X Hex was, in my opinion, way better at being like a really cutesy romance kind of thing. But this is a really good book. He's hostile and won't let her in, and she is just like open as a book, and they help each other out. They realise their feelings for each other, and she learns a lot about him because he's a very closed book. He doesn't let anyone in, and she learns a lot about him and he learns a lot about her. And it's a really cute book, really easy read. Big writing, well, yeah, big writing. Not very long. It's about nearly 400 pages long. Not very long at all. A lot of these books I've read this month, apart from the last two, have been very short. And it was just a cute kind of like, oh my god, this is so cute, all my days kind of book. Just a really easy read. I would recommend this one as well. If you're trying to get into like romance, I'd recommend the X Hex in this, because they're just really easy. And actually Love Hypothesis, because they're just really easy. And that's kind of what I like out of books. They're all the books I read this month. Yes, I read 7 books, and one of them was a beast. I don't know how I've done it. My uniwork has had a stop. It has gone, wait up. We've got the reading bandwagon on here, ready for my bandwagon of reading this summer. So yeah, they're all the books that I've read this month. Please let me know in the comments what you think about these books, your reviews on these books. Let's have a conversation about these books in the comments, because I love seeing that on my TikTok so much in my comment section. So let's have a talk about these books, because I know a lot of these are very popular books, and I would love to know your opinions, whether or not you guys like them, whether or not you don't, and all that jazzy stuff. So yeah, now these are the books that I'm going to be reading next month. Now I've only picked up 3 because I have 2 deadlines in April. One on the 8th and one, well, it's not a deadline in April, but it's a deadline in May. It's the 5th of May. Basically the entire thing of April is going to be like reading, not really on the front burner like March. So I read at night, and I read like, I wake up in the morning, I read at night before going to bed. So these are the books I picked out to read. 3 books, and yeah, I will show you. The colour palette this month is very black. My reasoning is I have a lot of summer reads that are going to be really easy reads, really cheerful, really happy reads, and I want to keep them for like May, June time, July time, because I'm going to be going on holiday. I'm going to need some easy reads. So this month I'm trying to get through my Beast books, the books that are kind of darker. But at the same time, I'm very much a mood reader, so if I'm not feeling these books, I just won't pick them up and I'll choose something else. But yeah, so the first book, I'm actually going to start reading this now, and it's called Verity by Colin Heuver. I put up some books I wanted to read, and went on to booktok and was like, choose which book I'm reading next, and everyone went Verity. Literally everyone, all fine print. I'm going to save the fine print for May, I think. May, June time. I feel like it'll be a good book. So this book is apparently the darkest one that Colin Heuver has ever written, and it's about Lowen, and she's a struggling writer, and she's on the brink of financial ruin, and she gets a job offer. She gets accepted of this job offer of a lifetime, and it is one of her favourite authors, Verity, and she's a best-selling author, and Lowe is hired to finish writing her books, and she finds something she doesn't expect in the office. It's an autobiography, and she has to decide whether or not to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, who is her Verity's husband, who is already grieving, or carry on the story. And it's about a manuscript and letter is what I see a lot on TikTok, which one you would prefer. So yeah, I'm reading this. It's very, very dark apparently, and very, very brutal. So I'm not prepared, but it's a very short read. So it's a very short and intense read. But yeah, I'm very excited to read it. Everyone on BookTok is saying for me to read it, so I'm reading it this month. I'm literally going to be starting it tonight. The next book, I've had this for ages. I bought this in November to read in the winter months, and I have not read it yet. So I'm reading it because I've seen a lot of people loving it. Ninth House by, I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'm just going to, you can read it. This is Ninth House. I mainly bought this for this. Look how pretty this is. This is a graphic designer, makes my heart. This is what I want to do, book covers. And this is Welcome to Ninth House. It's a secret society, and Alex is a freshman, and it's hoping for a fresh start. And she finds out Yale secret societies and the rich and famous, the rich and powerful are part of them. And there's a dead girl on campus, and Alex is finding out like why and looking deeper into why. Like what's happened, and there's magic in this apparently. Fuck yes. I love a book when it has magic in it. And magic, forbidden magic, they raise the dead and sometimes prey on the living, and it's all about Yale secret society and it's got magic in it and all that jazz. Oh my god, this sounds amazing. Apparently you have to push through it because the chapters are long, and you have to push through this book from what I've heard from people saying to me. There's very mixed reviews in it, which is why I have not read it yet. But apparently this book is amazing. Like someone commented on the video I did, because I put Verity in this up, and they went, just push through it. It is amazing. I promise you, you will love this. And that's had me hooked. I'm reading this month. I am not doing anything else until I've read this book. Yeah. And then the next book is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, just because comfort read. If I'm getting too stressed with uni, I need my comfort. So this is the next one after Order of Phoenix, obviously. This isn't the same cover because my other one of this, in that cover, is a first edition. So is this. This is also a first edition. My sister got these. These are my sister's book. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My sister got this on the day it came out. That's why we've got first editions. We've got first editions of the last three in these covers. But these have actually been read by my sister. And so, because they've been read, I will be reading this one. My other two don't look read, or if they have been, I am not touching them because they're in the original covers and they're way more expensive if I ever want to sell them, because they're in pretty good nick. But anyway, these books are absolutely amazing. Yeah, I cannot wait to read this book. This book is me. So yeah, these are the next books I'm going to be reading in April time. It is currently snowing. So that gives a good sign that I picked some good books, because it is currently snowing. We went from having summer weather, literally like a couple of days ago, to snow for the past 2 days. I don't know what this weather is all about in the UK. But yeah, so these are the next 3 books I've read. I'm very much a mood reader, like I've said. So if next month you're like, you haven't read these books, that's probably because I've wanted something else. But the goal is these 3 books. I only picked 3 because 3 is normally the amount of books I can usually get through, and as well it means that I have more of a variety of books. Like, oh, I've read these 3 books, I finished them, what should I read next? And I have more freedom, whilst, yeah, most people choose about 15 and I'm like, no. But anyway, yeah, these are 3 books I've got. These are 3 books I'm going to read, and I am extremely excited to read them. I'm so excited to start reading again. But yeah, that was my March wrap up / what books I'm going to be reading in April. I really hope that you like them. I really hope you do pick them up and read. I would, if I was you, I would pick up the X Hex to read that because that was phenomenal. The Love Hypothesis, and any Colin Heuver book, to be honest. Colin Heuver will always be top shelf. And Crave. To be honest, read all of these books. These books were all amazing. But do remember the ones that I've said that are above age, because I don't want any people under the age, unless you have read the books before or something similar, to read them, because I am not responsible for that. I'm just recommending you have to be above a certain age. But anyway, yeah, they're the books I've read this month. I really hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your thoughts on these books, whether any books that you would recommend to me, and things like book related comments. And don't forget to hit the notification bell when you do subscribe so you're notified every time I do upload. I'm currently testing out uploading on a Sunday at 10 AM rather than a Sunday at 5 PM. We're testing it out, we're seeing how it goes, and if it doesn't go well, we're going back to 5 PM. But currently we're doing it at 10 AM just to try and see if that works a little bit better for you guys, because it gives you all day to find my videos and watch them. So yeah, there are the books I've read. I hope you like this video, so I'll see you guys next time in my next video, which won't be book related, but it will be a brilliant video, so don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time in my next video.